So you just signed up with Poshmark, but now you don't know what to do. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to list an item on Poshmark so that way you can have best success with your store, and also just a few quick practices when it comes to maintaining your store. Let's go. Okay, so the first thing that you are going to want to do as you are on the main page and you've signed into your account is go over here where it says how it works and click on sell on Poshmark. When you click here, it's going to open up the window for you to create a listing. So we're going to take the example of a Free People piece. You can have your photos on your computer, or you can be doing this from your phone. It looks a little different, but it's basically the same thing. So make sure you have a photo of your item. We're gonna add the photo from our computer, as I mentioned, and let's just go ahead and take this photo. Again, this is just pure example. Now, the nice thing about this right here, this feature, is on the desktop, you can't do this. But if you're on your phone, if you pinch the item, like you can see, this item is a little bigger, this picture is a little bigger than this square. If you're on your phone, you can actually pinch your picture, and then it will give a little bit of a border so you can have the full picture if you want. But typically get in the habit of taking photos of your items in a square mode, because if you do decide that you ever want to transfer over to different platforms, the majority of listings, including Poshmark, is a square mode. Let's go ahead and do apply. And you can see here there's a lot of other places. So typically if you're doing photos, I personally say do as many as you can. Keep it in the ballpark of like 4 to 8 photos. Let's take a picture of the front. Let's take a picture of the back. Let's take a picture of the brand, maybe the fabric material. That's 4 pictures right there. Then let's go ahead and maybe do any like things that you want to shout out. So in this case, there's a little mesh detail on the back, or if I wanted to show more of like the tropical print, I could take a couple pictures of those. Or if there's a flaw on the item, is there a tiny hole, is there a tiny stain, make sure you get a picture of that as well. Then you're going to go to what are you selling. Now you can see in parentheses this says this is required. I like to stay with this kind of regimen when I'm looking at my title. We want the brand first. Next, let's say, is it women's, is it men's? Do you know the style name of the item? So in this case, I think it was like the Way Home Tropical Green Shorts. I think you can do some research if you want to. If you have a tag and it says it on there, perfect. Then let's say what size this is. This is a size extra small. And if you do have more room, you've got down here where it says 24 characters, you can say NWT, which means new with tags. You can say NWOT, which means new without tags, but do something to the tune of that. If you know the inseam of this item. If this feels a little too overwhelming, keep it short and sweet. This is enough for a title, but if you wanted to put like 4-inch inseam or something like that, feel free to put that in too. Or is the item high rise? You know, go ahead and do that. Maybe I'll do a separate video on like how to do research when it comes to styles of pieces. If you really want to start getting a good income coming from Poshmark, I would love to be able to teach you guys like how to search styles and get familiar with different styles of jeans, shirts, stuff like that. Leave it in the comments if you're interested in that. Now, typically I want to copy what is in the title immediately into the description. Having multiple places that have the same thing, I don't know, I think search analytics on Google, it does help with that. Then you can also break it down any more if you want. Now, I have done a keyboard shortcut on my phone and on my computer. So in this case, I can put TXT, this is my shortcut, and press enter, and this immediately pops up. I just like to say the condition of the item. So in this case, this one wasn't pre-owned. So I would say new with tags. Let's say the size, again, it is an extra small. It is green. And something else that I just like to say at the end is it's a pet-free, smoke-free home. And then I also put this came from like 2017. I don't even know if you need to do this anymore, but I do say I love accepting reasonable offers, bundle to save more. Follow me on Instagram to be the first to get notified of different items that are coming your way. Then at the bottom, I have this is my own like SKU system. So don't even worry about adding something like that. This is just for me. And in this case, actually, it would be this. Next, you're gonna go to category. This is a required thing. So you are going to click on women's and maybe play around and just start to get familiar with where things are. So these are shorts and then these are athletic shorts. This is a single item. The nice thing about this is if you do have multiples of the same item, you can say multiple items and put tons of different sizes. So you have one listing for a bunch of sizes. But in this case, we have the extra small, so that's it. This is NuaTag, so let's go ahead and click yes. From here, you're gonna find the brand. If it is a boutique item, that is something that you've purchased on Poshmark that was classified in their boutique section. I do think if you are a wholesaler or direct like brand, you can add that. I've never really taken notice of this question right here though. And then colors. It's green and maybe a little bit of white. Yeah, white, cream. So let's go ahead and put white. You can only do 2 colors. Then the style tags. This is a new thing. It is optional, but they do have specific tags. So the minute I clicked on it, it immediately dropped down all of this. I say the more details you can get, like the more specific you can get in your listings, the high likelihood there is going to be for someone to find the item. So I do try to do as much as I possibly can. So in this case, I would like to put athleisure, athletic, and maybe even casual. If I had a little bit more time to look at the things, I probably would. You can do the original price. In this case for these, I believe they were $78. And then your listed price. Now, immediately when I clicked on it, it says suggested prices between $47 and $100 based on what you've already typed in. Me personally, I don't take notice of that. I pay attention to what it actually is selling online for, or what I feel comfortable with trying to sell it at. So let's go ahead and do like 35. Immediately down here, it shows what my earnings is going to be if someone came in and just purchased my item. You want to make sure this is for sale. The other feature that came out a couple years ago that has been super handy, which is where the A in my description comes into play, because this wasn't here when I first started back in the day. This is show description. So when you click on this, this is information that is private. If someone were to go to your listing publicly, they're not going to see any of this information. This is solely for you and for analytics to help support how Poshmark is giving you data later, or if you're listing your item and it sells, where your SKU number is. So the listing SKU, if you saw over there, like it says AQ in that tote. So say I have the shorts in AQ, I would put AQ, and then if I put it in a bag, which typically I do, each bag has a number on it. Now, I know you are just listing your first item, but I would like you to start thinking about how are you going to store your inventory? Are you going to have a tote in your closet or underneath your bed? Are you wanting to have more than just a couple totes worth of items? Maybe you need to have a couple totes. Maybe you number them. Whatever you'd like to do. Over the course of the few years I started, I regret not having a system sooner. And so now we've done it where we have a tote that has a letter on it or 2 letters. And then we have these numbers. So the bag says 3851. So when this item sells, then I can go into the shipping, the packing slip, and it'll say, hey, this item is in AQ 3851. Super easy for me to find the piece after that. Does that system always work? I digress. Let's list the item. So this item is officially listed. It brings us right back to our main screen. If you want to double check your work, you can go up to this icon in the corner where your photo is and go to My Closet. When you go into My Closet, voila, it is here. Yay! You got your first item up. And you can also see, since we put NuaTag that question, it actually pops up in the corner. So it is kind of nice because people do like to sometimes see at a quick glance, is it new or is it new without tags or what have you. So this you can come in, you can make edits to, do not worry. It is not like concrete set in stone. If someone wants to like the item, they can like it here. If someone wanted to comment on the item, they could comment here. If you would like to share the item, I think we need to do a designated video about sharing. You can share it to your followers. There's other things there, but that's also a part of Posh Shows. So as I mentioned, Posh Shows, I have a complete designated video for. It is a very lengthy one, but if you are interested in Posh Shows, that is a great one to go to. And I'm going to stop here because I think this is enough information for you for one video. Over the next 3 weeks, I'm going to be doing a mini series on tips with Poshmark. So if this video was very helpful for you, to consider hitting subscribe and that bell notification so that way you don't miss when the next one comes out. I would love to hear in the comments down below, what are some questions that you have with Poshmark? This would really help me to determine what is going to be my next 1, 2, or 3 videos. So I am excited to give you guys this mini series, and I want you to have the best success when it comes to having your Poshmark store. I have had my store since 2017, and so I do know a thing or two about how to have success on this platform. So hit that subscribe, and I will see you next week. Bye.